Farm ground. To me, it's like the greatest thing you could ever have. I've said I've never met a farm that I didn't want to buy. But what happens when you have some ground, some tillable ground, and you're not sure what to do with it? Well, today's guest is going to have some interesting ideas. Today we're talking with Brad Belser. Now you are from your Peoria address, right?
Peoria address, yeah. Outside of Bartonville, between Bartonville and the little town of Glassford there.
Okay.
Yep.
Out in the
Peoria
middle of
County.
nowhere?
Yeah, out there a little bit.
Okay. Is that where you're from originally?
Originally, I grew up in Morton from, I guess, since 1995 or so. But growing up, was born in Memphis, Tennessee. Moved from Memphis to Albany, New York, Albany to Morton, where both my mom and dad were originally from. Dad was a cat guy. And so Morton then to Houston, Texas, Houston to Vancouver, British Columbia, Vancouver, British Columbia to Spokane, Washington, Spokane, Washington to Yorba Linda, California, Yorba Linda, California to Morton when I was going into the 8th grade.
You're kidding me.
Uh-huh.
Is that because of Caterpillar moving?
Yeah, yep, Dad was a cat guy.
How tough was that as a kid going through school?
I don't think I knew a whole lot different.
Really?
It's just, yeah, it's just what I knew. So.
Yeah. Do you have like a list of like people that, because everybody went to school with people they don't like, do you have like a list hanging on your wall?
I don't know.
Someday when you...
I don't think I probably remember hardly any of them, you know.
What was your favorite place?
Man, I like really good memories from Vancouver, British Columbia. At that time was a really neat place.
You weren't there in the winter then?
Yeah, we were there. We lived in Vancouver for 4 years.
Of course, Vancouver doesn't get as cold,
It's
does
just
it?
kind of rainy
Yeah.
from what I remember, rainy all the time. But man, it was just a pretty place to live.
Yeah.
Great big aquarium and just neat stuff there, Puget Sound.
And you're an outdoors guy, right?
Very much so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Besides other things, you were a land broker for Illinois Farm and Rec Land. That's
Yeah.
your title, land broker at Illinois Farm and Rec Land.
It's a long title.
Push that sucker together somehow.
But yeah, so I've been a land broker for 9 years now.
Okay.
Illinois Farm and Rec Land is my little company there, and my main brokerage is actually Jim Maloof Realty out of Peoria here, and so they've allowed me to kind of grow my own little land-based business within their residential brokerage space. So it's been a nice fit.
What does a land broker actually do?
So I will market and sell ground for folks. I'll go and turn over rocks, find parcels for people that are, if you're looking for something specific, let me know. And I've, in a lot of instances, have opportunities within my network of landowners that I can at least go start conversations. Say, hey, would you be interested in selling your farm? I have somebody that might be a good fit for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I come to a guy like you and say, hey, I'm looking for farm ground that I can farm, but I don't want to pay any money, you're going to go out and find me something.
Not necessarily, but I'll find you something. It's just we'll have to talk about the price a little bit, probably.
Kind of oversold what you did, really.
I will find it. It's the hard part is finding them sometimes.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants that, I don't know, get out of town, right? That little farmette or that little patch of timber
Yeah.
they can play with.
And they want to be able to go hunting. They want to have a lake on there to go fishing. And then they want some tillable income and a nice cabin site, good electricity.
Yeah.
Make sure there's Wi-Fi there and all that sort of stuff. That's
All for under 6 figures.
everybody's checklist. Yes. Yeah.
Once you find something like that, it's probably not a problem to get rid of.
No, and so many of especially in today's market, that the land market is still very, very strong, and so so many transactions happen offline that things get sold, I guess, prior to a lot of people knowing them, unless you are directly connected with an active land broker like myself.
Yeah. A while back we had, well, he's your partner, right? Chris Bauman.
Chris is my partner.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's a whole different deal. That's CommonGround.
On CommonGround is very separate from my land brokerage business. I would argue, I guess probably I work 2 full-time jobs. That
Yeah.
The one CommonGround is still a growing business, and so we don't take any salary out of that. And so
Is it what do you call it, a startup?
startup, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're still in the startup phases, and so we're very cognitive on how we're spending money. It all goes back into the business 100%, and so I make my living off of still selling ground for folks.
So you're working 2 jobs, getting paid for 1.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I mean the hope is
Yeah,
that
we
this
think
goes big and
yeah, we really have we strongly believe in the common ground business.
And tell us in a nutshell how it works.
Common ground?
Yeah.
So common ground is it's a very simple way of connecting landowners with either a tenant farmer, or in a lot of cases, if you're a landowner and maybe you don't utilize your timber portion, and we've had discussions even with operating farmers that you own 1,000 acres. Out of that 1,000 acres, 700 of it's tillable that you farm. But some farmers don't necessarily hunt and utilize that additional 300 acres of good prime deer hunting ground, especially here throughout central Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, those sorts of stuff. And so Common Ground will take your property at no expense to you as the landowner, and we will market that to the masses of, like in this case, hunters in particular, that we found that it's really a supply and demand thing. There's not a whole lot of supply at times of good hunting tracts that can be leased. Not everybody can afford to own their own properties. And so the demand for hunting leases is astronomically high with not a ton of opportunities out there. And so through Common Ground, not only can you lease your tillable ground, but you can also lease your hunting ground in a open, transparent bidding sort of a platform.
You do it separately?
Yeah, you can. So if you are a landowner and you say you've got 100 acres, 70 of it's tillable, 30 of it's timber. You don't live in Illinois. You've just had the ground for a long time. You can run your tillable ground through Common Ground to bring some price transparency to what that is willing to what farmers are willing to pay to lease that ground. And the same deal with the hunting ground. And so instead of setting a price on a hunting tract or a tillable tract, especially the hunting, like historically, well, maybe $15-$20 an acre was kind of the going rate in people's minds.
Sold.
Correct.
Where's that at?
Yeah,
we'll take that.
Well, we still talk to a lot of people that say, well, yeah, I've just always got maybe a little bit higher, $30 an acre.
Yeah.
Which in today's times is very, very low. That we're seeing through Common Ground $50, $60, $70 an acre for hunting leases in some instances. So
there's a lot of times too. We'll give you a stick of salami from the deer we shot. I mean, there's some landowners, honestly, in my mind, just don't have an idea of what they've got as far as an asset. And to be transparent, I am a state licensed whitetail deer and turkey outfitter, so I deal in this too.
Absolutely.
We rent out hunting land, and it's sometimes it's funny because as an outfitter, the landowner doesn't want me because he doesn't want, because we run people from Virginia. That's all we do. Sometimes they do because they want the people from out of state to come on the farm, and then they don't have to worry about them coming back like throughout the year or whatever, just randomly showing up when they don't want them to.
Sure.
So can a person that has this hunting ground, can they put it on Common Ground and, can they decide, is it their decision or is it just whoever bids the highest?
Yeah, so it's ultimately the landowner's decision. So out of the active bidders on any specific hunting tract, if we don't go per acre on the bidding like we do on tillable ground, it's just different. It's $2,500 is the starting bid for the entirety, for an example, instead of a per acre price. But when all the bidding's done, it's still up to the landowner to have a discussion with the hunters, and the landowner gets to decide who they're most comfortable with to be on their ground. We help the landowners in the aspect that hunting liability insurance has got to be completely in place before the hunters enter the farm, which has been a pain point, I feel like.
Purchased by who?
By the hunter.
Okay.
Yep. So they have to show proof of that hunter liability insurance. That I think historically some folks have maybe been a little bit against leasing their ground out for hunting because of the liability.
Oh, I guarantee it. Yeah, I've been told that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to worry about being sued.
Yeah, but we kind of connected all those dots to where the landowner can sleep easy at night knowing that that hunter is insured.
So you are an outdoors guy. I mean,
very much. Yeah.
Did you find these?
I did. Yeah, I found these. One of my favorite things to do outside of just bow hunting for whitetails is shed hunting.
It's so addicting.
I love it.
When you try to explain to people like what bow hunting actually is, it's just. I'm sorry, what shed hunting actually is, it doesn't make sense to them. You look around and you look for where the deer dropped a shed. But if you do that and you actually find one, It's the feeling is almost like you've harvested a big buck or something.
It's very rewarding. It's like a Easter egg hunt for grown-ups. And even, I mean, the kids love it too. But for me, I could go walk all day.
And it is. I mean, you can go with somebody, you can talk, and
Yeah.
you don't have to be quiet like when and you can do it when it's warm. Yeah.
Well, especially in trail cameras and stuff have come so far now that most everybody's running trail cameras, and so they have somewhat of an inventory of the bucks that live on their specific farm, and so it's so neat to be able to capture. Go pick up the antlers off of that deer that you've been watching on camera.
Oh,
all
you
year.
make it sound so easy. You could walk around for a week and not find one, and then one day you'll be walking around and you find 10.
It's a timing thing, though, and like I feel like if you know where the animals spend most of their time, especially late in the year like this, if it's February, early into March when most of the deer are dropping their antlers, then you're going to primarily look. This year's been a little bit different because it's been so
early.
warm.
Yeah.
But you're going to look for bedding areas close to food or in the food itself, whether it be cut beans, corn, standing beans, corn.
It's not guaranteed.
It's not a guarantee, but your
I
odds
tell you,
go up.
We leave corn every year, and this year was the first year in probably 10 years that we've been doing it that I found a shed in the standing
That's
corn.
surprising.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, but the one thing I noticed about these are they're not chewed up. That's the thing. Once they drop them, it's a race between you and the squirrels that are going to eat them.
Yeah, or the field mice. Yeah, both just love they love chewing on them. There's calcium in there. I'm sure there's good minerals that they love, but they don't last real long on the ground sometimes. And so you got to be diligent.
If they drop them in the timber, it's bad.
They get smoked real quick.
Yeah. The nice thing is they stay out in the field so that when you run over them with your tractor tire.
Have you done that?
Probably 10 times.
10 times. Yeah. That's an expensive deal too, right?
I've never lost a tire to it, but each time it's it's a patch, which I am not equipped to do. So you have to have somebody come out and
you're down for some
fix
time.
it. Yeah. But there's a lot of stories out online where people have actually lost a tire because they got up in the sidewall and they've completely ruined the tire. So yeah,
Go pick them up.
believe me, you don't want the tractor to. Oh, you're $3,000 for some of those tires.
That's what I was wondering what a big tractor tire goes for.
Yeah, but these are cool. It's not a set though, right?
It's not a set. No, these were just a couple I grabbed off the shelf. On
All the years I've done it, I've only found one true set. We're laying there side by
really?
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, tell me about all the
Oh,
ones
no,
you
no,
found.
that's okay. No, I'm not going to get into that. I found a couple sets from time to time, but
It's not a competition.
no, it's not a competition at all.
Everything is.
But I also have the ability, there's some landowners that when I'm showing properties, even this time of year, I'll make sure that I'm very diligent. Like, hey, listen, I'm going to be out there. We are likely to stumble on antlers. Would you like me to leave them? I can drop you a pin of exactly where they're at. Do you want me to pick them up, bring them home to you? Some say, yeah, I'd love to have them. Some say, take them. I don't. It's really of no interest to me.
Yeah.
So
But if you find one out in the field, I would always pick it up.
I'll grab it just to help a farmer out.
Put it on a fence post or something. So you can do the hunting rights, right? Now that would be for everything. So if I'm putting on my hunter hat and I want to lease ground for hunting, will it be for deer hunting, turkey hunting, shed hunting, morel hunting?
In a lot of cases, and it's really up to the landowner that they, they can say, hey, listen, maybe I like to turkey hunt, I don't care to deer hunt, and so I'm going to lease my deer hunting rights in the fall. I'm not going to transfer turkey hunting rights to anybody, but in some cases you can get morel mushroom hunting rights. You can get turkey rights, the whole 9 yards. But it's really landowner to landowner specific. And as you add more of those on there, the price in many cases does go up. That the landowner's ROI can increase if you say, hey, listen. You can basically utilize the property as it's yours, year to year, and do as you would like, be a good steward of it.
As an outfitter, I find a lot of times I'm an excuse not to have an uncomfortable conversation. The person that owns the ground doesn't like the person that's hunting it, but they were hunting it for their dad or whatever, so then they contact me and they're like, hey, do you want to rent this? I'm like, yeah. And then it's always, oh, by the way, you have to tell So
Oh,
it's
yeah. Sorry, Rob.
But this is, I mean, this would also be, I could think if you had ground and you have people that are hunting it, or you don't know, right? Because you're not involved in the farm ground or whatever, this would be a great way to kind of take control of that aspect that you just kind of been letting go.
What is, and I hate to see it, but we've seen it many times too, where the landowner, like if you are kind of away from the farm, you're not spending a ton of time there, you're not hunting yourself, you're not there in the fall. What happens is, I think it promotes neighbors or outsiders that once they find out that this landowner really isn't present or they don't care about this necessarily, I think it encourages trespassing. I think it encourages a lot of bad behavior that in a lot of cases get a hunter on there that is going to treat it like its own. He's going to watch out for it. And the last thing this hunter who's paying to be on your farm wants is the neighbor sneaking in there and hunting or something along those lines. So I think it is kind of an additional insurance policy that the farm is not being trampled on by outsiders that the landowner is not even aware of.
Yeah. I will tell y'all, if you have ground out there, and because we've rented it and people say, well, nobody's hunted it for years. Somebody's hunting it. Somebody, it does never fails, somebody's hunting it. Somebody's on there. So unless you have a hunter that you know on, somebody's probably, one of the bad guys, the poachers, are probably sneaking on there and doing stuff, ne'er-do-well stuff.
And you have an insured hunter on there too, because the guy who's sneaking on there trespassing is just as likely to sue you or go after you once he falls out of the stand, whether he's supposed to be there or not. That's how it works, unfortunately.
And can you rent it to where they hang their own stands?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
You kind of probably want it that way.
You 100% want it that way.
That way you're not liable for.
Yeah, you don't get into any of my stands, sort of, or old stands that are on the property. I would not encourage that. I think the new hunters should be responsible for putting their own stuff up.
So you're a broker, you're an outdoor guy. I mean, why get involved in this startup?
I saw a need for it through my land brokerage business far too many times that I go to, meet a landowner, and we're going to go through the numbers of what his property should be worth. And he tells me, well, I'm getting $150 an acre on the 60 tillable acres that are on the farm. And so I start running maps, and it's like, man, it's like, that's mid-B soil, sort of, it's timber soil still, but $150 an acre. And so now we're talking 60 acres at 150. The annual return on that farm is very, very low, which is going to make my life much more challenging to get the most out of that property for that landowner when we go to sell. That, if we can get that return, that annual return up, I can drive a much higher price for that property than, the way that it potentially was set up previously. And so it does increase the value of the farm inherently by increasing the return on it.
Okay. I mean, sometimes the farmers and even the hunters they're going to look at your product and go, oh man, it's just going to drive prices up. But in some cases, I mean, literally, it kills me to see someone that has like 40 acres of timber, and they see the guy once a year, and he comes back with a stick of salami. And when you go to hey, do you want to, maybe lease that out? They're like, oh no, they usually show up, late summer and ask if they can hunt it and hang their stands and that. And I think it's just they just don't know what it could be worth.
Absolutely. And just like so many things, it's the tillable ground. The hunting is exactly the same though, Rob. That there's a lot of value there, and the amount of hunters out there. Especially the whitetail deer hunting in central Illinois or throughout the Midwest now has become so popular that it's really the thing that so many people want to be doing. And
a thing that people are not afraid to spend some money doing.
Oh, they love to spend money.
You think farmers are bad? These hunters, boy, they'll throw down the cash.
They will spend a lot of money to get, especially on a decent deer hunting farm.
Yeah. Are you a good hunter?
I don't know.
I've heard you're not.
I've heard I'm not too. I might be. I don't know. How do you measure? Are you a good hunter?
I don't know. It's whatever you tell yourself. If you can sleep
I don't
at
know.
night, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I spend a lot of time doing it. Let's say that.
Do you enjoy it?
I absolutely love it.
Because I know you a little bit, and you're like you're more than just the casual guy. I mean, you understand the science of food plots. You understand the science of growing deer, letting a buck, even like this, a big buck like this, walk because next year, because he's not fully mature yet.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I've matured over time. That it's the hunting has changed a lot. That I don't really love killing them, which sounds odd. Like I'm passionate about bow hunting, but I don't love the actual killing side of the whole business of sorts. I love watching these deer grow up. I like knowing who they are. I like learning their patterns. And when you get a deer to that 5.5, 6.5-year-old range that's fully mature, and you're able to navigate with a bow and arrow in his own habitat, kind of in his house, and getting an opportunity to outsmart him, that's really what it's kind of the cat and mouse puzzle game for me.
Yeah.
As much that I enjoy.
You're a hippie.
I'm a hippie. Yeah. Of sorts, yeah.
No, I get it. I'm the same way. It's if you shoot something, that's the end of it, right? And
Correct.
It does not have a chance to get bigger. So if you reach it at its pinnacle,
Yeah.
that's going to be that deer's last year. He's not going to get any bigger. To do that, that's when they're also the smartest. And those stupid things.
They're smart, man.
Oh my gosh.
They're
I don't know what spidey sense they have or what nose they have, but it's incredible how they know where you're at.
When they get older like that, especially. But it allows for these younger up and coming deer that have good genetic opportunity to move to a specific area too. Now you get those older, maybe more aggressive, larger animals out of there, that these smaller up and comers, it gives them an opportunity to move in and be comfortable then on the farm.
Any advice for people that are actually, say you've never leased hunting ground before? Any advice what to look for and what not to look for?
To me, I think, we're very much for looking for previous referrals or references, I suppose would be the correct word. Look for references, check the references, and that's something that we can do internally at CommonGround, that we look for strong references in the past of hunters, from hunters. We look for, I guess a multitude of things, but it's something that we really pride ourselves on being able to help these landowners out with.
Because it is an honor to step foot on someone's ground. I mean, that is an investment that either their family made or they've made.
Yep.
And to be given permission to step foot on their ground, I think sometimes is lost in people. So I like this because you kind of get what you pay for. And if you're, to me, this is my opinion, if you're giving the hunting away, then you're probably a lot of times going to get people that don't really appreciate what they are being given.
I believe so as well, especially if you get into like a longer term sort of a lease, that I'm not going to come in and I'm not going to shoot a bunch of, young deer, or, as a hunter, you expect the hunters to not come in and shoot all the young deer and take a mass quantity of deer when they know that they're going to be able to have that lease for 3, 4, maybe even 5 years in some cases. Try to make that farm as good as possible for the length of that lease and get the most out of it.
Yeah, and trying to get the farmers to understand that, you're not going to cure that problem.
No, I'm not going to. No, that's all right. That's all right.
That is, oh my gosh. Now, if people want to find more about Common Ground, where do they go?
You'll go to commonground.io.
.io. We talked about that with Chris because commonground.com was...
Man, whoever owns it, they just wanted a lot of money for it.
I don't think that's unusual, though, right?
No, it's not.
A name like that, because, Common Ground, that could go for a lot of...
I think there's a lot of coffee shops. There's so many different businesses that are Common Ground, but commonground.io is what we landed on. We were able to get that domain. And at the end of the day, it functions just like a commonground.com does.
Okay. Any social medias?
We are, Find Common Ground on Instagram.
Okay.
And Common Ground on Facebook, but there are going to be multiples on there.
You seem like a TikTok guy to me.
I don't have a TikTok account.
I think you do well, because it seems like you're the kind of guy when the day is long and you've done your thing, you're brokeraging, that you might just break out into dance.
I don't. I don't know. I might try it, I suppose. But TikTok kind of scares me. I don't understand it, I guess.
I imagine
I've
you
never
being
been
an
on it.
awful dancer.
I'm a terrible dancer, Rob.
Yeah.
I'm like painfully.
What would be the opposite of dance? Oh yeah, you.
It would be me. I've always been like that, though. I am a terrible
I believe
dancer.
you.
I have no rhythm whatsoever. None.
All right, you're enjoying it though, right? The Common Ground stuff?
I love the Common Ground stuff. I really do. Just the people we get to meet and the help that we've been able to give to people. You know, old ladies who call crying,
Yeah.
like literally crying that you changed my life on the amount of income that I'm getting out of the farm now on my fixed income. The farm makes up the majority of it, and you know, at my old age, you have changed my life. I can do some things now that I was never going to be able to do before I pass.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no better way than to end it than that. So yeah, Brad Belser, congratulations.
Thank you
For what you guys
Thank
are
you
up
for
to.
having
Yeah,
me so much.
absolutely. And your little antlers here. Common Ground, go check them out. Chris or Brad, thank you very much. Everybody
you, Bob.
else, we'll catch you next week.